Okay, so today we are looking at 10 plant-related goals that you should commit to this year if you want to up your plant game. Well, should you really do these 10 goals? Well, that's entirely up to you. I'm going to do most of them. I'll tell you what I'm going to do in relation to them. There's no doubt in my mind that they will make you a better plant parent, a better, more knowledgeable, more skillful plant parent. So it's up to you, just a bit of fun. Tell me in the comments which of these you will be following and of course which you won't be following. And if there are any that you've got in your mind already that I haven't listed, then please tell me that as well. So let's get started. And we are in. Okay, so the first plant-related goal that you should commit to this year is all about your plant knowledge. Commit to a habit, a regular weekly habit of learning something new. So how are you going to do this? Well, in my case, I use the app Blinkist, which I've talked about before. There's another app called Shortform, and what it does is it takes these non-fiction books and it shortens them into a summary, meaning you don't have to buy all these different books and you don't have to read them all the way through. You can cut out all the fluff. Of course, you can go and buy them if you think it's a particularly good book, but this is great just for getting the main meat and potatoes, the main bones, the main important bits from these books. So make yourself a regular habit of learning something new, either through reading a book or maybe watching a video or maybe listening to a podcast. And of course, there is always social media. You can follow botanists, you can follow doctors, you can follow people who are actually qualified in this stuff. So if you want to improve your plant knowledge and your plant skills, make yourself a regular weekly, daily habit of learning something new through one of those different media. Second goal to commit to is to try growing something you haven't grown before. Maybe you have a budget to be able to buy something new each month. Maybe it's every couple of months, maybe it's every quarter. Whatever your budget is, try something you haven't grown before. Of course, you've got to like it. In my case, I'm going to grow some orchids I've never grown before. I'm also going to look for some begonias I've never grown before. Yes, I've tried those plant families, but I'm really going to double down on those particular genera this year, which I'll talk about a little bit more further down the video. So second one is to commit to grow something new. Third goal is to be more ruthless. Now in that sense, I'm talking about ruthless in terms of plants that just aren't doing it for you anymore. So let's talk about duplicates. I've got loads of duplicates, especially in Streptocarpus, that I need to toss out. I say this every year and I never do because I'm clearly not ruthless enough. I'm going to be this year. That's my goal. So yes, duplicates are gone. I'm also going to ditch the underperformers. So those that I've been kind of hoping that will return, I've given them a year, maybe give them 2 years. No, get rid of them. You know they're not going to come back. Toss them out. And look, sometimes plants do really well at first for us and they just don't carry on doing the same as time goes on. I'm talking about Tradescantia. I'm sorry, it happens. Yes, I can start again from fresh, but don't persist with those that have brown leaves and look really leggy. Start afresh. Toss them out. I'm going to be really, really ruthless this year. I promise I am. And if I don't, then you get on to me about it. You hear? Okay, fourth one up is to commit to learn how to propagate something by a method that I've never used before. And I think that will be a great skill for other people too. So all the different methods, you can divide, you can chop in half. So divide, I'm talking about the rhizomes. Chop in half, I'm talking about the main root ball of a plant. You can learn to use seeds if you've never done seeds before. You can propagate by leaf cuttings, stem cuttings, especially begonias. You can do all sorts of different leaf types of cuttings and divisions and leaf propagations. You can layer plants, loads of different ways. So whatever you've never done before, commit to trying something a little bit different and improve and increase your knowledge and plant skills. Next one up is to join a society. Now I do this all the time. I've joined the Begonia Society. I might only do it for a year. They're all pretty cheap, I have to say. There's the Cyclamen Society, there's the Orchid Society, there's a society for pretty much any plant family or genus that you care to imagine. Join it, learn a little bit about it, enjoy being part of that community. Do it for a little while, do it for a long term, it's up to you, but it's a good way of increasing and upping your plant game. Now we're all guilty of this next one. For every new plant you buy, don't just look at the pretty flowers or the pretty leaves, research it, see which one you want and then have a look. Can you provide the conditions? Do you already provide the conditions? Because the chances are that you won't do that. You'll just see what you want and you'll order it, or you'll pick it up and you'll put it in your trolley. We all do it. You need to commit to stopping doing that and getting the research done and making sure that you can provide what it likes. The main problem that I find with things like this is because I'm dealing with tropical plants, I get the ones that like it warm all the time. I can't provide that. The plants that grow well for me are the ones that don't mind dropping down on a night time to about 12 degrees. If they can do that, then they're going to be fine in my greenhouse. If they can't, if they want to stay above 18 or above 20 degrees Celsius, then I'm afraid it's unlikely I'm going to be able to accommodate them. So goal number 7 for me is to choose a plant family or a genus and double down on it. Now I've already said I'm going to double down on begonias and orchids this year. They're the ones that I like. Now, what in particular? Well, I really want a Begonia chlorosticta and I want a Darth Vaderiana. The reasons to double down are many, but the main thing is that you become more expert in that particular area. Now, in the terms of orchids, now there are so many different genera of orchids that to become an expert, you really will need to be doing it for many, many years. But of course, all I'm looking at is this growth mindset. I will get better at it. I went through a period where I lost a lot of orchids through spider mite. I didn't know I had them, hence I lost them all. So I want to regain those back that I really liked. I love the twinkles, I loved the pansy orchids, so I want to get those back into my collection and get to learn how to grow them successfully and continue growing them year on year. So that's my goal with orchids. I just mentioned 2 particular begonias that I want, and I want to get more into the more unusual begonias and see if I can grow them in my greenhouse, especially the ones that people tend to think will like really high temperatures. I think that they can cope with lower temperatures than common knowledge tends to dictate. So that's what I'm going to double down on. So for you, choose something, double down on it, become more of an expert in that area. And the last goal I'm going to talk about is one that I really should do. I can see loads of benefits to it. Whether I will or not depends on various factors, mainly whether I've got time. I'm talking about keeping records of your plants. So you can keep growth and care and culture records of your plants and photographs and details of the pests they get, how you dealt with it, how they grew after that, when they bloomed, how much water they need, all the various ins and outs of the plants. Maybe you could only do it for the ones that you really care for, or the ones that are really precious to you, or the ones that are the most expensive, or maybe do it for all of them. I know 1 or 2 YouTubers who do this, and I can see the benefit. There are loads of benefits, and maybe over time it will actually save you time in the long run because you don't have to keep looking things up. I mean, who can remember all this stuff, especially if you've got various genera that you are growing? If you're just growing one, then of course it might be easier to remember, but if you're growing various genera, then it's very difficult to keep track of everything. I've got plants that like low temperatures, high temperatures, a temperature differential, ones that need watering through winter, ones that don't need watering through winter, ones that need a darker period, ones that need bringing into the light. Very difficult to keep track of all this. If I could just do it on a spreadsheet and make the habit to keep track of it and keep records of it, then in the long run it would be better, and I'd probably save myself money throwing plants away that died because I forgot what they wanted. So for now, I'm not sure whether I'm going to get round to doing that, but it certainly would improve my plant care, and maybe it would improve yours too. So I think that was 8 different plant goals that would make you a better plant parent and would make me a better plant parent too. So tell me in the comments below, which of those are you going to try? Which of those do you think are useless? And tell me if there's anything else in there that I should have added to my list. And I really hope you have a fantastic 2024, a great New Year's celebration, and I hope to see you with loads more plant content with a little bit of non-plant content on the side in the new year. Have a good one. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.